Folks, if you forget to make the main thing, you're going to lose a lot of money. You are going to go backwards. It's going to be horrible. Never forget to make the main thing. And we got this gem of advice from Adrian Hernandez during his great speech right after lunch. The hardest, literally, dude, the hardest session every event is the after lunch session. You crushed it. You got him up. You got him moving, and you delivered with some heartfelt truths. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was pumped, man. I was pumped. I think I left my whole body on the stage because still had to come back. But
So real quick, there's only a few moments that Olivia and I have shared because Olivia had a great time as well. But there's a picture of you on your Instagram, which I reposted, of you holding that belt, which is over your head, and you are smiling like a 5-year-old kid. It's just so excited. I'm like, it's what we were going for.
yeah.
You had a good time. That was awesome. Nice
Well,
job.
I appreciate you. The event was absolutely just full tilt, the best event. I personally, you know what I love about the event is like everybody, the nuggets that were shared at the event, everything that was being shared, the people that were networking, like nobody was holding anything back. It reminded me a lot of CG where there was no ego in the room. Like everybody was open, everybody was having a good time. I absolutely love that. It was especially for the setting too. It was intimate. People weren't, leaving and going all over
Yeah.
the place. It was awesome. But
Yeah. For
yeah,
folks that don't know, CG is collective genius, I think.
yeah, collective genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, the belt and holding the belt and just knowing I was able to feel the impact I made.
Yeah.
I felt like a kid on Christmas, man. So I thank you so much. And it goes back to, what I was saying, make the main thing, guys. I lost so much money. I was talking about this yesterday. I pulled myself out of bed. I had to talk at an office, and I was talking about this yesterday to a group of agents again. Is I'm like, you guys got to stick to what makes the money. I tried to be this quote unquote guru. I tried to be this quote unquote, let me go, not be my true authentic self and be somebody I'm not. And it cost me millions of dollars. And it's real easy to do that, right, guys? Because you got your phones here and you got Instagram and you got YouTube, and we can easily, pick up on the next trendy object, the next shiny object. But little that we know, it costs us a lot of money in the long run.
I thought that was really impactful. You're like, we lost money in December, in January, in February, in March. And you weren't able to pull yourself out of that just negative cycle until you realized or understood that you got distracted. You let
Yeah.
yourself get distracted, which
Yeah.
allowed your business to run really with very little, if any, supervision. And you frankly got what you deserved.
Most definitely. Well, and I'm grateful that it happened because I ain't making the damn mistake ever
Yeah,
again.
this will not happen again.
That
Adrian will undoubtedly make other mistakes. That won't be one of them.
will not be one of them, right? They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. It's not happening this time. But you guys, the reason why I say that is because sometimes we got to go through it. Sometimes you just got to go through it. You got to make the mistake. As much as I've heard Ty and Zuber and everybody tell me, do the work, blinders on, right? I even talk about blinders. I've even talked about blinders. And what happened? I let my own blinders come off, right? Put blinders on something that I thought was important, which is not that important, right? What's crazy? I heard Mark Cuban say, do you think that I would be Mark Cuban if I was first starting off my first company and I went and got distracted and taught everybody what I was doing? Do you think I would be Mark Cuban today?
No, no
No.
chance. No, no. That's really that's an important thing, right? Because the world that we live in, you are successful. You do make seven figures. You have a track record. You have a story to tell. Um, but and then there's this social media thing, right? Where you're part of Ryan Pinedo's or Collector Genius, all those groups, and sometimes it's the shiny object,
Most
right?
definitely.
It's the shiny object. It's the hey, I want to get me some of that, and we still suffer the same fool, right? There's only 24 hours in the day, and if you don't make the main thing, it's going to get expensive quick.
And you out there, you interview, all the millionaires on your show. You've interviewed tons of other people. Have you seen a trendy, or have you seen this happen before? Have you seen where people get distracted, where
Yeah. So I've again, I've seen it not only what I've been doing the last 6 years here on YouTube, but back when I was a sales professional. And I mean, you get a rep that does a 7-figure year, right? Which is not uncommon when you sell enterprise software. It's pretty every year there's, I don't know, 6 to 10 reps that make 7 figures selling software. And more often than not, they get distracted on freaking spending the money and they
oh,
forget what got them there.
mm,
I can only recall one rep who ever backed up a 7-figure year with another blowout year. Most reps don't make quota the next year
mm,
because they get distracted. When you stop making the main thing, it doesn't matter where you are. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight. I don't care if you're trying to do, I mean, if you forget to make the main thing, it's going to get you because it's the main thing.
most definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think of Jordan, when Jordan was so good at basketball and he wanted to go play baseball, right?
Yeah.
And not to say, everyone has their own thoughts, but what happened? He went right back to basketball, right? He forgot the main thing was the main thing. And you guys, for all of you, it's easy. It's gonna get easier to fall into the trap, because social media is just gonna pull you in and pull you in and pull you in. And social media is one of those shiny objects. As I was sitting in that room and I'm looking out to the crowd, what I love about Zuber's crowd is that there's not a lot of people in his crowd trying to make all these reels, and they're focused on buying rentals. They have their job and they're focused on buying rentals. I was in a room yesterday where everybody was making reels. Everybody, we're talking about people that don't have a lot of money who are buying $2,000-$3,000 cameras to make reels, and they're putting
Mm.
those cameras on credit cards to try to be this next. And I'm like, I had to stop somebody and I go, what is your job? And he goes, well, I sell real estate. And I go, then go sell more real estate. Go
You
sell
know,
more real estate.
yeah, that is so. You just said something that hit me because that event that we were both a part of this weekend and we'll be a part of next year. The audience is what stood out to me, and I got a little bit of this earlier when I was talking to Anna Kelly. Um, the audience is full of doers,
Doers.
not pretenders. Now, again, I want to be clear: not everybody had a rental yet,
Right.
but they were doing the work. I mean, this phrase on my hat. Everybody in the room was doing something. They were not focused on taking pictures and looking good for Instagram and trying to pretend like they're doing something. They're doing something. And then the most important thing about the event, dude, that I was and frankly, it's the only thing I couldn't control, which bothered me, but it turned out great, was they were really talking to each other.
Right.
They were
Right.
really networking. It was awesome.
And it wasn't like it wasn't distraction talk. It was about the game.
No.
It was
Yeah.
about buying property. What's crazy? I'm standing next to some people, no idea who they are, right? Come to find out, 100 owned units, 69 units, 70. I'm like, okay, I'm next to these aren't just normal. And what I loved is you would never think in a million years that these
Yeah.
guys own a bunch of units like Lumberjack. Like when I met Lumberjack, I was beyond, and I'd met him before, right?
Right.
But when I saw him again, I was beyond impressed, because the guy didn't have on, like, he had a watch, but there was nothing flashy about Lumberjack. And
Yeah.
Lumberjack had more money than most of the people in the damn room. Like, it
Yeah.
was so cool to see Millennial Mike. Like, I finally got to see these guys, right, outside of the
Yeah.
camera, and outside of the 2 hours that we had at Fresno, right, when we were there. And I just got to say, Zuber, I'm beyond impressed with the Avengers. I'm beyond impressed with
Mm.
Michael. I'm beyond impressed with Mike, with Lumberjack, with Dion. When we were on that panel at the Wealthy Investor at Ryan's office, like, I wanted to get off. I didn't feel like I belonged. Like, I because like
No, man.
these guys are juggernauts in what they do, right? And
Yeah.
and so you got it. Just get around the community, guys. You're obviously watching this video. Don't miss
All
the
right.
event next year, right? From my understanding, it's going down again President's Day weekend. Is that right?
Absolutely. President's Day weekend. I'm signing a contract today. So I'm already spending money. I'm
Let's
already
go.
spending money on next year. I got to put like 20% down, and the event just finished. So my credit card's gonna be a little tired, a little tired.
But kudos to you for the community you create.
Yeah.
And for all of us guys, like, for those of you that may be watching in, right? That are like, you want to
Yeah.
go to the event, or you've been wanting to buy your first rental, you want to be a part of that crowd, just do the work, guys. Don't get
So
distracted.
I want to go through the agenda with you and get your thoughts on them. And now I know you didn't see them all because you were also taking advantage of the podcast room. Just so you guys know, Adrian and Ty did a podcast. I've already downloaded it. It's already scheduled to run tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So it'd be the 22nd. I'm giving it to you for free. Not all the podcasts will be free. Most of them will be inside the event. But I wanted to get these couple out just to show you what we did in that room. I say that because you didn't see every presentation. So if you were in that room and you didn't see it, no harm, no foul. But we got to open it up with Jason and Jen, right? They kicked off the presentation. I loved how Jen went back in time and found, I think it was emails, them
Yeah.
talking about, hey, what are we going to sacrifice? What are we going to cut? How are we going to do this together? Um, Getting on the same page with your significant other, in that case, boyfriend, girlfriend, which became wife, husband. It's so important, right? And then Jason steps up, burn the bridges, and she's got him for a year, and then she kicks him in the ass right near the end of it, and he gets 3 deals. I mean, shout out, Jen for doing all of that, but really just getting on the page together, don't you think?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I did get a catch a glimpse of their talk, and it was incredible. It was incredible to see how they came together as a couple, right?
Hmm.
And I think in this business that needs to happen more. My wife and I talk about it all the time. There's a lot of separation, right?
Hmm.
Wife barely knows what the husband's doing. Husband keeps the wife out of the dark on everything, right? And I've
Right.
done that, right? I've done that. I've been there where she's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "I got it under control." And she's like, "No, what's going
What's
on?"
going on? You gotta tell
Yeah.
me. No, that
And,
wasn't
and
a
it's good.
wasn't a check. That's I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't asking you. I was telling you to tell me.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to treat that relationship is the most important thing. Back to the comment, right? Got to keep the main thing, and she is the main thing.
Yeah. And I was so
Yeah.
impressed by who they are as individuals, right? I didn't know. I thought they were like 30 years old, right? They got kids that are moving out. It was so cool to
Yeah.
see and how
Yeah.
they
In
take care of
college.
themselves. But
Yeah.
yeah, they really impressed me. That
Yeah.
talk really impressed me.
Yeah. Then we go into Brian Adams, but I want to jump ahead to Sean Cannell because I saw you paying attention there and really talk about what'd you think of Sean's talk?
Sean was so good. I actually took some really good notes on Sean, just because I happened to be in that room when
Right.
Ty was interviewing him. And let's go to it real quick. So one thing that I really got from Sean, right, is he says done is better than perfect, right? Done
Yeah.
is better
Talk
than
about
perfect.
that. How many people get locked in perfect?
So, mainly everybody, right? He
Everybody.
done,
Yeah.
done is better than perfect, right? He goes,
Yeah.
just get the camera and shoot, right? Like, he gave me an idea. He's like, grab the little those mounts in your car for your phone. Put the mount in your car for your phone. If you can afford a little $25 mic from Amazon, grab it. It's 25 bucks. There you go. There you go. That little thing that connects to your AC thing in your car costs what? 25 bucks,
Yeah.
right? Your $50 investment, put it on your car, click record, and record you driving talking about a market update.
There you
Record
go.
you and then post it. And then post it. Right. One thing I also didn't know, I didn't know none of these videos that you posted weren't edited. I didn't know you just uploaded them. I actually
Oh,
did know, but now
done.
I think about it. But you
Yeah.
just upload.
Yeah. Done is better than perfect. I haven't
Done
edited a
is better
video
than
in five
perfect.
years. Yeah, yeah.
You know how many YouTube videos, Uber, that I haven't posted because I was waiting to edit them?
A lot,
Just post
apparently.
it. Just post it. Right. So that was
Whoa.
good. He said
Just
top of mind, tip of tongue. Be
ooh, tell
top
me
of
about that one. Top of mind, tip of tongue. I don't know that I've heard that in this context. What was he referring to?
So when people are, always thinking about us, they want us to be top of mind, right? You're thinking about real estate,
Oh, got it,
think
got it.
about
Yeah.
investing in real estate, you think about Zuber, right?
Right.
If you go on your Instagram, the first thing that you see is tip of tongue. So right when you go to think of or you go to voice, right when you go to voice rentals, the first thing that pops out is Zuber,
Mm,
right? Tip of
got it.
mind, tip of tongue. That was really big for me. That was really
I
big.
like that. And yeah, it's staying in front of people. Yeah, I like that. Staying, keep adding value, continue with value so that you are top of mind and thus you are tip of tongue. I like that. Sean's got these little, just these little,
Chips.
you know, gems. Yeah, just put them
Little
out
nugget.
there. Yeah, little nuggets. That's the word I was searching for. Nuggets. There you go.
And then this was good too. So we talked about like viral videos, right? How
Mm,
like some people go viral. Like let's talk about Pineda real fast. Like Pineda was literally like this, right? Like he all
rocket
of a
ship.
sudden, boom, right? And he goes, success is way harder to deal with than failure. Success is way harder to deal with than failure because what a lot of us, we're not even prepared for that viralness. Like, do you guys
Mm,
know what happens? Do you know what happens to your life when all of a sudden you get 20, 30 million views? All of a sudden, like you can't go anywhere because people now recognize you.
yeah,
Like, do you know what
I've got to
happens?
imagine that I got to imagine Ryan can't go anywhere without being stopped or having somebody take his picture.
No, everywhere he goes, people know who he is. You guys, a lot of you
Mm,
can't deal with that. A lot of you, your marriages, your life, your
yeah.
family, the relationship with your kids would completely go out the window because you are not prepared for the success. And when he says success is harder to deal with than failure, I really sat there and I'm like, some of you, the reason why you haven't taken off on video or you haven't, because you're not ready for it. And God knows
Yeah.
that. God knows you
Yeah.
ain't ready for it. So he ain't going to give it to you.
Yeah, you know what? I had never thought of this before. So on I don't know, we've been in Vegas 3 weeks or so. I guess it was last time we were in Vegas. I got the chance to actually meet Graham at Graham's home in Graham's studio.
So cool.
And he's got 4 million, right? He's 15x Ryan, just by numbers. And so I got to talk to him early, but it was really that conversation after we were done that just hit me. He stays home a lot.
Hmm.
He's behind guard gated. You got to have a secret password that changes daily, guard gated. Like we're not talking like just wait for a car and you'll pull behind. We're talking about guards with, they're armed, right?
Right.
And yeah, we got to talk in beautiful house, just a great human being, but I do get the feeling that he stays inside a lot
Yeah.
because of that. I can't go to the grocery store. He can't go to
Yeah.
dinner unless he's probably in some private room or something. Can you imagine being swarmed like that?
Yeah,
That's
it's crazy.
such a good point.
Some of us
Shout
aren't
out,
ready.
Graham. You're a great person, man. Shout out, Graham. All right.
Some of you aren't ready for it, and if it ever happened, you probably would
You would
go and
like you would like retreat, right?
right, right.
Ah, that's weird. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then
Right.
the last thing he says, be a student of the game. So we were talking about YouTube. He goes, be a student of YouTube. Study psychology trends. Study your true authentic self and be more of your true authentic self, not edited, right? And that was back to the whole video in the car, click
Yeah.
shoot, click post, right?
That's
You
a big
don't
one for me. That's a huge one for me because I see a lot of like I'm trying to inspire baby boomers, Gen X, older folks to get started because it does skew younger in my opinion. And um you're okay. You're okay as is. You don't have to pretend or follow and try to be someone else. Remember what so Graham Stephan again, this is years ago. So this is before I met him. Every once in a while when you watch a Graham Stephan video, he changes his opening, right? Usually it's something like, "Hey guys, Graham Stephan here, blah blah blah." And sometimes he'll change the words, right? Just to catch your attention. I tried that once on my show just because I'm gonna be like Graham. It's freaking horrible. I'm like, I am not Graham. I'm gonna stick with my normal opening. I remember trying that and it was only once and I will always be myself.
It's so good. It's so good. And obviously we love Ryan, right? But I see a lot of
Yeah, of
people that
course.
go there, they'll go dye their hair
I see
red like
that too
Ryan.
now.
And they're making videos, and I'm like, yo, man,
It wasn't the
go,
hair, bro. It wasn't the
yeah,
hair.
go find what works for you. Like Ryan just used the hair to get more eyes, but he was already that's him. Like that's anybody
Yeah.
you talk to, that's him, right?
Yeah.
He has the wrap shiny car, right? Like it's
Mhm.
different. That's him. Don't be you, guys. Be you every single time, right? We open the video saying, right, don't get away from that one thing, right? You get away from the thing that makes you money, you start lose money. The moment you get away from who you are, you start losing a shit ton of money. And here's the thing: you lose
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, I was just going to say that exact word because it's even worse than that. You
Right.
lose yourself. And believe me, it sucks to lose a lot of money, but if you lose yourself in this, no, no bueno, man. No bueno. Bad, 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 bad.
It's hard to get back, and
Oh, it takes
you
part of
know,
your soul. Even if you can get back, some of that soul is gone.
it's gone. It's
Gone.
gone. And
Yeah.
if you're married or you have a significant other, guys, if they're if they'll leave. They'll
Yeah.
leave.
They'll let you know that part of who they married ain't there anymore.
Right.
Yeah. That's
And I
crazy.
remember when my wife reminded me of it, and she's like, "Hey, she's like, I understand you got it. You think you know what you're doing, right? But this isn't
Think you know what you're doing.
you think, she won't directly tell me, right? But she,
Yeah,
but
that's a
it goes,
kind way of
she's like, this ain't you. This ain't you.
yeah,
Whatever you're doing, this ain't you, and just
yeah, that's
recognize it, right?
yeah,
Um, and some of us have good spouses where they're going to tell us that, and
yeah,
some just aren't going to say anything, guys, and that's where you got to be a little aware and self-aware, and
yeah,
don't fall into the trap. It's big.
yeah. Well, the audience is gonna get your entire podcast tomorrow. Do you want to tease what you remember from that discussion?
Yeah, yeah. Ty and I talked about what was working in today's market. I asked Ty a bunch of good stuff on how to acquire rentals in a challenging market where people think you can't acquire rentals. We talked about sub two seller finance. We talked about wholesale. We talked a little about innovations out of state. Then what we really talked about was like limiting beliefs, right? Shattering through limiting beliefs. Some stuff I shared on stage. Ty got to share, his side of it. Ty's been a big proponent of me uh, being who I am today by breaking
Right.
through, some chains, breaking through some insecurities and tapping into my true authentic self. So we got to talk about that. We got to go deep. It was the first time him and I ever did a podcast together, and it was super cool. So
I'm glad
I'm
that
excited
happened.
to check that out.
Yeah. What were some other moments that kind of hit you over Saturday?
Yeah. Um, Beth, I love Beth. I love how authentic Beth is.
Yeah.
Um,
Top 1% agent in the country. That is
and she
amazing.
doesn't walk around like it.
Oh, she's so cool.
She's so authentic. She's so cool. That was awesome. Just the networking, I think really drove it home for me. Because I was in the podcast room, I wasn't able to see
Hmm.
everyone's
Sure.
talk. But the networking, seeing how open everybody was, even the people that weren't at the VIP and that were, that were out, weren't at the VIP, even them, they were so open. The
Mm.
community, when I walked out, people were shushing everybody because we were all talking in that main room, right? But
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
listening into the conversations and everybody was asking super great questions. Everybody was like, how do I get to that next level? What do I need to do? What do I implement? I just love the openness about it.
Yeah.
And I love the setting too. The overall setting was huge.
Yeah, the blind sitter really came through, man. Really came
Yeah,
through.
they did a good job. I
Yeah,
was
they
really
did.
impressed by the media team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Really,
Heartfelt Productions. Shout out them. If you're ever in Vegas doing an event, Brandon Heartfelt Productions, second to none. I will be using them for everything I do in Vegas going forward, hands down. People might not remember this, but Heartfelt Productions, Brandon and his team did I think it was like an 8-minute kind of intro to the Blind Center with me, shoot, 5, 6 months ago. And that was just a taste. You've undoubtedly seen that 55-second highlight reel, right? That
right.
they put out.
So,
Did
yeah,
did you realize? I don't know if you probably saw this, but they gave me that video 1 hour and 7 minutes after the event was over. 1 hour and 7 minutes, and they had footage from the very last portion of the event.
that was so cool.
That is
I
awesome.
saw
So
that. I saw
I
that. I've only
I
seen that happen one other time, and that was at Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny. And you're talking about a millions of dollars worth of production, right? I've
yeah
only seen it one time. That was
yeah
awesome.
1 hour 7 minutes. And no, by the way, he's already given me 5 podcasts. Right, the guy's just a machine. He's already given me
Wow.
5 podcasts. Two of them are we're going to give away. The other three we're going to put in the bonus section of the event that'll be available. But yeah, it's more to come. And again, let's talk about the media team. So First off, they ran a successful Zoom, right, which had upwards of 100 people on, um, audio, changing cameras, switching, all that stuff that I don't understand. So that's one. Then they had a podcast room, dual mics, three. I think they had three cameras going, lighting. They did 21 podcasts. What I told them was I was shooting for 15. What I really held was 20, and they did 21.
Incredible.
Incredible. I mean, that's over 2 days. And crazy. And then they had another guy running around getting B-roll, following me around sometimes. It it blew me away. Heartfelt Productions, Brandon and team. If you're again in Vegas, look them up. And
They
more to come.
they impressed it. I was not expecting that. I walked into that room, I saw the setup, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I saw one guy, and I'm like, all right, awesome. He'll be here recording everything. Another guy walks in. Another guy walks in. They're communicating via headset. Like it was the real freaking deal. It was the real deal. And then I talked to Brandon yesterday, and he had told me how many podcasts that you guys did, and I'm like, dude, what? What?
Yeah.
And so yeah, Heartfelt Productions. Not only that, yes, they did a great job on the media. Yes, they're a powerhouse team, but who they are, like we got to actually mastermind and
Yeah.
actually talk. Dude, these guys, like they
Dude,
know what's up.
let me say this. If we ever do something together in SoCal again, I'm bringing them out. They're
Oh no,
just
they
going to be
have to.
my. They're going to be.
Yeah,
They're going to be my. If I go anywhere that's close to Vegas, they're coming. I mean, I'm not
yeah.
going anywhere else. I'll pay whatever they ask. Don't tell them I said that because I still want some buying power. But it's okay.
What the dad? So Brandon, and then his dad's name is I forget.
I don't remember, but they're all just awesome folks. Heartfelt
So,
Productions, just
and
amazing.
then the fact that his dad was from the Mike Ferry world and
Yeah,
knew all the guys that we knew, like it's just, and
yeah,
then they
Joe
worked
D.
with Joe
Yeah, Joe
D,
D.
and
and
it's
all that.
like,
I tried to get Joe
dude.
D there. I tried to get him there, but he was at his house in Utah, I think. So good for him.
All right, maybe at the next one.
Yeah, come on, Jody. Well, I don't know. He likes that vacation house. That's the one problem having on President's Day, which next year will actually be Valentine's Day and President's Day. Um, some people want to go off and do other things, but I love President's Day because Monday can be a travel day for folks. And they're not missing work.
Right.
Also, I like it February because if you're on the East Coast or Canada or Alaska, we had people from Alaska come down. You're getting away from the cold, right? And Vegas, generally speaking, middle of February is going to be in the 60s or low 70s. Um,
Right.
so it just makes a lot of sense. I know it won't work for everyone, but at least next year, I'm only committing to 1 year at a time. We're going to keep it that weekend. So I should sign a contract today, actually. So that should be good.
I
Um,
love
yeah, I
it.
mean, yeah, it's just the other thing that uh was so awesome was and here's a tweak that I'm gonna make. And oh, by the way, spend more money. Shocking. I was so impressed with the VIP section, right? The round tables, they were fed. That was great. But what really got me is I had to go in that room repeatedly to kick people out to go back to the event. There was so much networking and communication going on. 10-minute warning, 5-minute warning. I'm going to lock the doors. Get out, right? And I want people
Right.
at the event. And then at dinner, we went from 6 to 8 dinner in the VIP section. Bet you, if again the blind center people had to leave, so we had to go. But I bet you
Right.
they would have gone till 10 o'clock, and not a
Oh yeah.
person would have left.
Oh yeah. I think we
Yeah,
left at what 8:30, and there was still
eight
the
or
room.
something like that.
The room
Exactly.
was still full.
So what am I changing? I'm going to buy meals or even general admission next time. And we have that back room because again, I got the whole building. We'll find space for round tables to feed everyone because I want to encourage that behavior.
I love it. I absolutely
So
love it.
yeah, we're gonna spend some more money next year. That's probably the biggest tweak. Let me ask you this question. May have been asked or it's been suggested to me that one thing I might want to consider is breakouts.
Hmm.
Breakouts are hard
Yeah, they're hard.
because A, you carve out the time from somewhere else.
Right.
B, um, like let's just say we did 3 breakouts. I'm just making a number up. There's a chance that 2 of them are highly attended and one isn't. There's just a chance, which would make me feel horrible.
Right.
Um, it does allow for even more intimate questions. I don't know. I'm torn on it. The other thing I was thinking about, again, I'm just riffing at this point, is you know what? Why don't we do the same 2 days, and then maybe, just maybe, we do a half day Monday, and it's only breakouts Monday.
Hmm.
I played with that idea, but then again, that's more cost and more stuff. I'm just throwing it all out there. I'll let you react to that crazy ramble.
Yeah, I would say based on, because I've seen multiple events do the breakout sessions, we lose a lot of participation.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's that moment that people can kind of venture off, right?
Yeah.
But however, most of that's taking place at like where they have the opportunity to go downstairs and gamble, or they
Yeah,
have
we
the
got him
opportunity.
trapped.
They're
Trapped.
trapped, right? They ain't going nowhere. Like you got to go 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, you
15
got to call
minutes.
an Uber. Yeah, you got to call
Yeah.
an Uber to get anywhere.
So I would say if you were, keep it Sunday. Keep it
Yeah.
Sunday where if you did lose people towards the afternoon, it was no big deal, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's just kind of my suggestion is
Yeah.
more of like
So
the
so so I'm just again, I'm really just riffing. So like Sunday, so second day, because again, like I told you earlier, after lunch is the hardest spot. So maybe Sunday after lunch, lunch goes 12:30 to 2. We do 2 to 4 breakouts. Maybe we do 4 or 5 breakouts. Then we
right.
do the closing presentation, you know, 4 to 6 or whatever it is.
And then that closing though, I would have someone that people need to watch.
Right.
Like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
like I've seen Pineda bring like, he'll bring Ed Milet, like that last, like you're coming back. You're
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
coming back
Yeah.
instead,
You're
right?
you're not leaving early. Yeah. 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 All right. I'm still playing with this, not committing anything, just brainstorm with someone who's been to lots of events with me. Yeah, that's the one tweak I know I'm doing is I'm going to feed everybody because I want to try to take the goodness in the VIP and bring it to general admission because not that general admission was bad. I'm not. This is not on the blind center at all. This is on me because they had
Right.
to stand in line. Everybody got their food at different time. Some people are eating. Some people were finished. And it didn't really promote the networking um,
Right.
that I saw in the VIP section. So I'm going to try to bring some more goodness to the general admission. That's one tweak I know I'm going to make.
Yeah,
Uh,
that would be good. Yeah, I did see that towards the end. Yeah, that would be
yeah.
good. That'd be good. But even just the participation from general admission, just everybody that was
Yeah.
there, so quality, so good. Even
Yeah.
the people that worked at the blind center, right?
Yeah.
Shout
They
outs to
blew
all
me
of you
away.
guys, everyone that served us, everyone that that was there. I remember walking, I was like, oh, there was, can I get some coffee? And before you know it, I turn around, there's two other people filling up the coffee, like they were freaking on it. So
Yeah.
awesome. I loved everything.
Yeah. I know. One of the things I know you went home on Sunday. One of the things you missed is I was so impressed with the Blind Center. Obviously, Olivia and I kicked in a significant, thank you. But also, I gave the audience a chance to say thank you. So I had 40 keychains. These are $5 keychains. They say due to work on them. I bought them years ago and I just found them on my shelf, in all honesty. And then I had two one rental at a time books that I had the speakers that were still there sign them. And this was my goal. I wrote this down in the morning before I got there. I'm going to try to sell these keychains for $20. I shouldn't say sell. Sell. What the hell? And I was going to sell the books for 100 because I wanted to hand $100 or $1,000 to the blind center. Right.
So
And again,
good.
these keychains are like $5.
Yeah. Right.
But to me, it was like, hey, who wants to donate to the blind center? I'll give you a thank you gift. Right. That's how I didn't want to sell anything. And we sold out in 7 minutes.
Oh, let's
7
go.
minutes.
Let's go.
So
That is
we
awesome.
yeah, so we had $1,000 that I gave to Melinda, who was my point of contact, as a thank you from the community. Because they just crushed it. So we did that Sunday afternoon. That was yeah. I'm gonna look forward to doing something bigger next year because I want to make that. If we did $1,000 this year, we're gonna try to shoot for 2,000 next year. No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure. Um,
Yeah. That's
I just
fantastic.
had something. I had something I was gonna ask, but I got too excited about the donation.
I just can't stop thinking about. I walked in, the event was already going on. There's people standing around the room. I look up top. I didn't know it was the second story. You got
Yeah,
people standing all on the second story.
dude, I gotta tell you, that's exactly where I would have sat 2 days. That downward view, that's where I would have been.
That was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I would have
I
been.
was so impressed. I was so impressed with the whole
Yeah.
thing. I didn't think the Blind Center would do that incredible job of a venue. It just,
Oh, this is something that not many people know. So when I signed the contract, it's a whole process, but right, you sign the contract, and one of the things you have to select is the tablecloths, right? And again, it's a pretty in-depth process to secure a room and do all this stuff. And we're going through the tablecloths, and there's no purple. So I, of course, do what I do, and I'm like, hey, what if I bought you some purple tablecloths and you got to keep them after? Because purple's important to me, right? It's kind of my
yeah,
thing.
the color.
And she's like, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So I think I selected black, but hey, whatever. And I get there Friday before Ryan Pineda's event, and they're purple. Not only are they purple, but she's got lights set up in the room that are purple. People ask me if I did all of that. I'm like, no, Consider did all of that. Dude, again, I think I said this earlier, but if you are doing an event in Vegas for 350 people or less, and you are not doing it at the Blind Center, you are an idiot and a moron. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. I will be doing every event there from now until the only restriction is that it kind of tops out at 350-ish.
Mm.
But I'm going to do events 350 and less because I don't want to do an event at a casino.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked giving my money to the Blind Center. It
Yeah.
would hurt me to my core to give my money to a casino.
Well, and with that point too, I also think that's why the networking was so powerful, is because people couldn't go
They
downstairs and
couldn't
do
go
what
anywhere.
they
Yeah.
They couldn't go anywhere, and you're forced to talk, you're forced to network, right?
Yeah.
And it's because obviously we go to the events at the big casinos, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, but half the time you look in the crowd, you walk through the casino, and half of the people are in the casino.
You get people gambling and they got the badge on.
The lanyards. Yeah, you see them
The
all the time, right? And it's for those that are easily distracted, for those that are easily can, get away from it, they're there, right? They're there. So absolutely Blind Center. That's what I was about to say. You're gonna sell out super fast, like 350. Dude, I already have. Yesterday, I was talking about it at an office I was talking at. There,
Yeah.
you're gonna have 350 people the moment you put the link out.
Yeah, so this morning I actually asked them my daily financial news because I'm gonna sign a contract today, and I wouldn't sell until I had a signed contract, just bad juju. But I asked folks if they wanted me to put it up tomorrow, and really the answers have been split. But there's a couple of folks they actually had the same fear or the same apprehension that I had, and it's why I'm gonna not sell them for 6 months. And I realize that's a risk. I should be selling them now. It's hot. People are excited. Sell it when people are hot. Would probably sell out in 2 weeks.
Yes,
I
easy.
am not going to sell them. I'm going to take the risk for 6 months for this one reason. There's a lot of people that came out to this event who put the hotel or the flights on their credit cards. And the last thing they need is to have another budget busting ticket, right? Even the general admission this time is going to be 300 because I'm going to feed everybody. That I'm not going to lose money, right? So I I don't want to be the reason somebody has to make that choice. So
So
I'm going to take the risk. We're going to start it 6 months before the event, which is I'll probably do it around my birthday, so sometime in July. And I always want to do the right thing for the audience. So I am not going to sell them early. I really should. I mean, you know how many people blew me up saying, "I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to buy."
I'm
But
sure.
it's those 20 or 30% of folks out there. It's like I want to go,
Right.
but it would hurt.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to do something good for me that's bad for others.
Most
So
definitely.
I
Such a good
will
thought.
take a
Such a good
risk.
thought.
Yeah.
Such a good thought. And
So they're
being that
not going
money,
on sale. Yeah.
a lot of people have more money in July than they do in February. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if you want to, I mean, if I was doing this for the money grab, I'd be selling them right now.
Yeah.
Right. All the highlight reels and all that stuff going around.
Which is another thing. Kudos to you, Zuber, because you could tell you didn't do it for the money, brother. You
Yeah, dude,
didn't.
I
There was
didn't sell
nothing.
shit at that event.
No, there was nothing. And if anything, you were such a gracious host. Like Ty and I would ask to help. You're like, I got it, I got it, I got it. And you were the
Yeah, go
best
do
host
you.
I've personally ever seen at an event. Did you get to eat?
No, I didn't eat. I don't eat at events. So so Monday after the event, I was ready to do my recordings, right? Did the 7:30 live. I started at 8. I canceled. This is the first time I canceled sessions because I almost passed out. I almost passed out Monday morning from low blood sugar and no sleep. I ended up eating crackers because it was the only thing I could get in my stomach. I was losing it. And then I took a 6-hour nap. Took a
Oh,
6-hour nap.
your body needed it.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was wrecked.
Yeah. When I woke up completely done on Sunday, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm a different type of done, but Zuber has to be done. Like Zuber
Oh yeah.
has to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Because for
That's
me, it started Friday. Right. For me, it started Friday, getting the
right.
space ready, and then Ryan's event, and then yeah, it's yeah, I had not felt that. I don't know that I've ever been that exhausted. I don't think I've ever been that exhausted. And I've done some pretty cool shit in my day. That was rough. That was pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was all
I,
worth it. It was all good.
I was thinking about you when we were eating. I'm like, did Zuber eat? And I asked the
Nope.
table, and like, I
No,
don't
and
think so.
Olivia was very gracious. She tried to feed me. She tried to feed me Saturday. She tried to bring me food. She tried to bring me food. I'm like, honey, I'm not just, no, I can't, I'm not going to, I don't want to get my, it's not what I do.
You were
I was in the zone. I was just like going. And, but it almost got me Monday morning. Yeah. I'm sitting in this chair and I feel like I'm going to pass out. So I had to go eat some saltine crackers and take a 6-hour nap. Oh, it's
It's
pretty
so
crazy. It's pretty
good.
crazy. Well, give me your closing thoughts, wrap it up. And is the belt, can you grab the belt? Is it close enough to you to grab the belt? Let's show the people the belt. This
Check it out.
is this is
You're so
legit.
generous. You're so generous, Zuber. The fact that you got all the speakers this bout, you're so generous, dude. Check this thing out. Let's go.
And what people may not know is it has your picture and
Yes,
your
that's
name.
so cool.
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
says, do the
Do the
work.
work. There you go. Yeah. And go giver.
Go
Those are the
giver.
people in my network, right? Right there. You don't stay in my network long term if you're not both of those things.
This is so
Yeah.
cool, dude. I've
And
when
it's
I
like
saw
legit. It's like heavy.
no, it is my wife was like, this is a real belt. This is like a legit, this is real leather. This is
Yeah.
real leather.
It's real leather. The snaps work, right? Yeah, those
That's so
snaps.
cool. So
Yeah.
here's the belt, guys. When I first saw it, who did I see you give it to? Jason? Yeah, I saw you
Yeah,
give it to
Jason
Jason.
and Jen first. Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I looked at Ty, he goes, he bought belts for everybody. I go, oh, he went all out. Like, here's my closing statement. Zuber is the biggest go giver I know. My closing statement is he did not do the event for money. He did the
Yeah.
event to give value. And you guys
Yeah.
got to find a way to get there next year. I am beyond overly thankful. I prayed God knows how many times that God has brought this man into my life, Zuber. I appreciate you so much, brother. We all love you, dude. Everything
Yeah.
you've done for us. I mean, this bout is just, this is just one thing, one tiny thing that you've done over the course of 2 to 3 years, man. And just to see the ripple effect, to see everybody have life-changing experiences. I don't know anyone else that does it from the heart the way Zuber does.
It's really important for me not to sell anything in an event. It was really important for me to exceed expectations. And a little fun fact. Here's a fun fact that nobody else knows. Olivia reaches out to me yesterday and she goes, "How are you going to top the belt?" She's like, "What are you going to do to top the belt?" So I've already bought a trial run of something that just might top the belt. I'll just leave that little tease there. We are working on something already to top the belt, but I'm not sure. The
That's
belt's pretty cool. All right, brother.
about
Take care.
nonstop.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you guys. Let's
Yep.
go. See you at the next event.